Today we would like to talk about hybristophilia. What is hybristophilia? Hybristophilia is a paraphilia involving attraction to somebody who has committed a crime or outrage. So, Bill, you seem to have quite the following on social media when it comes to hybristophiliacs, and I want to talk about that, being that you have a unique perspective, being that you're a convicted murderer, classified as a serial killer, and a self confessed hitman. So, tell me what you think about hybristophilia from your point of view and all the women that flock your way due to your high profile status.
Well, first of all, I try to say all the women that come to talk to me and want to be next to me, I try to treat them with a lot of respect, first of all, because most of them are just wonderful people, seriously. But I mean, everybody has their fetish, right? I mean, a lot of people look down on the chicks that like murderers and stuff, but it's just another. I don't know. It's just another. I guess fetish is the right word. I don't know. I mean, I'm not into the psychology of it all, but I'll tell you that most of the women are looking for attention. And not only that, we men in general today, there's a huge trend towards the feminization of men. And I have noticed over the last 13 years as being very famous, especially in Panama, but a little bit famous on the outside of Panama, but really famous in Panama, that women are really sick of girly boys. And this is just the reality of the situation. I'm very politically incorrect, and I don't make any apologies for that either. But men have become a bunch of pussies, and women are sick of that. And then, like some of the women, I think in a way it's mistaken. To some degree, it's mistaken. Find strength in men who are, don't have balls enough or who are damaged enough to commit atrocious crimes. And so, we as a race, as a human race, all colors and creeds, I'm talking about as a human race, we 10,000 years ago were living in caves. And the man who got to fuck all the girls was the one who could hunt and fish and kill the best. Now, we've come a long way in 10,000 years, haven't we? We have smartphones and we're walking around with perfume on and designer jeans on and shit like that. But in reality, 10,000 years in evolutionary terms is like 20 minutes. And so we're really still those almost monkeys that live in caves, and that's the almost monkey in the woman wants the big killer, crazy, strong, man. Now, what can we gather from all this? That society is pushing values on us that our minds can't keep up with. And so, in reality, this hybristophilia thing, it's always been around, but it's like becoming more and more prevalent. You see a lot of young girls, especially on Instagram and Facebook, 15, 14-year-old girls worshiping Ted Bundy. This is a man who killed women for pleasure. I'm a hitman. I kill people for money, and that doesn't make it. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I'm not sick. I don't have a sickness in my mind. I had a morality problem, not an emotional problem. But you see these girls like worshiping a man who murdered women, and it's simply because I think that there aren't any role models among men to be manly anymore. I mean, if you look at even the leading men who are, in Hollywood and stuff, they're very effeminate now. Where's the Schwarzenegger? Where's the Stallone? Where's the Clint Eastwood? Where's the John Wayne? They're all fucking dead, man. The society has murdered them, and then we wonder why our women are sick and tired of us, because at the end of the day, the cave woman that's in her wants to feel protected, wants to feel that you're strong enough to do whatever. And this is just a general overview. This is a general commentary about society in general. But the hybristophilia comes in when I think that there is a little bit of a mistake or a little bit of what's the word in English? Misconception of what a strong man should be. A strong man shouldn't be a murderer who kills women, really, But at the same time, like I have a friend of mine, and I'll call her Alice. She knows who I'm talking about, the Thunder from Down Under. She's an Australian girl who is in love with Ted Bundy, and she's a dear friend of mine, and she has been for years. She's not one of these Johnny come lately. She's in her 40s, beautiful woman. I mean, absolutely fucking knockout gorgeous, thin, beautiful woman. And she is just in love with Ted Bundy. And She has been for a long time. She's married to another man. She has beautiful children and grandchildren, and it doesn't seem to harm her in any way to have this fetish. And I know that, like, most of that hybristophilia thing is a sexual fetish. I don't think the women actually want to come and live with or to be lived. I think they want to be fucked by somebody who is like a serial killer or somebody strong. It's a sexual fetish. I think. I mean, it's my opinion anyway, because most of the girls that I talk to, were like really horny for me and stuff because of the things I did and just my general presence in general. And but most of them are like I say, most of them are in their 30s and 40s. They're even in their 50s. They're beautiful women who have families. This is just their sexual fetish. And I think that a lot of it stems with we men have the blame because we've allowed society to turn us into this girly boy turd that no woman would want to fuck. And so one thing I listened, this is getting a little off subject, but not. It's still in the same thing. Dan Bilzerian is like some famous douchebag that has like all kind of girls, right? And I heard him say one time, 2% of the men fuck 90% of the women. I didn't believe that, but it's true. And what happened to me, I'm bad to just take over a show, and any of you guys interrupt me anytime you want, but in 2013, I got divorced. I was in prison for 3 years. I got divorced, and I found myself in a position to be sexually available to women, and in the best shape of my life. I didn't look too bad, actually. I was in, fairly good physical condition. I had good appearance. I was 34 years old, super fucking famous in the Republic of Panama, and I did this. This is what I did, just to see. I sent my Facebook. In Panamanian prison, everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a swag cell phone. So back in those days, I sent my Facebook page to La Crítica, which is the biggest newspaper in Panama, and they published that I had a Facebook page. And like a joke, it was kind of a joke. Hey, man, I went to 5,000. The maximum back then, I don't know if it is now, but back then the maximum you could have was 5,000 people on a Facebook page. I went to 5,000 people in 48 hours, and it was all girls. I mean, like, I just accepted. The ugly ones I didn't even accept. Just the attractive women, I accepted. So then, like, I had this huge trove of women. In a Panamanian prison, there's conjugal visits. And you can manipulate the system, actually. If you have a little bit of money, you can manipulate the system to get laid once a week. So what I did was I just put on my Facebook page, I'm looking for some girl to come to a conjugal visit. Who wants to have a conjugal visit with Wild Bill? Fucking like 800 girls said they did. So I get to pick the best one, the one that I think that's the best. So what happened to me is I was like really nervous about girls my whole life. I mean, I always had a girlfriend or a wife or something, but I wasn't like a Casanova or anything. And so I began to fuck these girls every week, and I was honest about it. I mean, that's another thing. You think that a man should be honest, and this is not a relationship I want to get laid. And I began to fuck these girls, and like between 2013 2016, I fucked maybe 300 girls, something like that. And they were all just gorgeous. And so what happens in that situation, we're getting a little off course, but what happens in that situation is you begin to specialize in what you like sexually. And you know that now, like before, like a normal guy in the street, he has to take what he can get. He's getting laid, he's happy, he's getting laid, he'll do whatever to get laid, he's happy. In a situation like mine, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't take it. No, fuck that, I got another girl, And so I began to specialize sexually. Hybristophiliac girls are everywhere. Panama, United States, England, a lot of girls in England. And I think that more even in the first world there are, even than here. And because the men in the first world are a bunch of pussies, generally speaking, you don't have to kill people to be a strong man. Don't get me wrong. But the hybristophilia trend comes from, like a girl grew up with a father who worked really hard and took care of her, or even if he didn't, whatever, but she grew up in an environment. If you're 40 years old, you grew up in an environment where men were still men. And the men today are unattractive to those women simply because they're pansy-ass pussy boys. So hybristophilia is gaining a foothold, getting more and more popular simply because today's men are a bunch of fucking pussies.
So do you think, because clearly you seem very familiar with all this from first-hand experience, do you think that the as well as masculinity and stuff, that the just the thrill and the taboo kind of is a thing? Like people can say, oh, I had this I had this very dangerous person that I was close with. Do you think that thrill is a big appeal for anybody?
I think that's most of it. It's most of it. Like for me, the girls, they ask you questions like, "Are these the hands you killed people with? Is this what you used to speak?" Of course not. That wasn't my motive. But whatever she wants to hear to get off, I'll tell her. And so, but that's the thing, like the girl is getting fucked by this beast, and like I play the part. I'm a pretty mild-mannered guy. If you want the truth, really, I'm an extroverted introvert. In my heart, I'm an introverted man. And I'm gentle. I'm a gentle man. The things I did were work related. In my personal life and stuff, I'm very proud of, but I learned how to play the part to like heighten her experience. Her experience is heightened by the fact that maybe I am a raving beast, and there's a world of danger, and she's in danger, and that, that sort of sexual fetish. So it was fun, and it was fun. I did it for like 3 years, and I stopped. It was kind of, the shit got old. You wouldn't believe that, but it did. It did get old, and then I went back to like dating one woman who fit the category of like what I like sexually, but also what I like in another way. But for 3 years, I had a lot of experience, a lot of women, and like you just said, they all want the experience of being fucked by the beast.
So do you find it odd that women and sometimes men are attracted to people like yourself exclusively due to the fact that you've committed multiple homicides?
Yeah, that's fucked up if you want the truth, but like, you learn to go with it. Like, I didn't understand that. Like, I don't understand, like, the thing I'm being honest, like, I'm a hitman, so, like, I'm constantly trying to defend myself, but not be like people like Ted Bundy or people who kill people for fun. I never did that, and I'm constantly in the position of defending myself, and I don't want to be considered in the same group with those men, and so, like a girl who like, I got a lot of friends, like I told you, like my Australian friend, and also a lot of young girls I've talked to that send me stuff, send me pictures. I don't respond to them because they're underage. But like, they love Ted Bundy. It's a man who, for his own sexual pleasure, murdered women. He couldn't get off if he didn't kill the girl. Or, I don't know exactly. But like, it's something like that, right? So what the fuck would you want to be attracted to a guy like that for? I don't understand. And so, but I don't have to understand because it's not my sexual fetish. And it's okay that they think that they like that. And it's also good, like, everybody has to have somebody to love them, even the worst of us have to have somebody to love them. So if these girls get off on these serial killers and stuff, and well, thank God for that, because if they didn't, then nobody would care about the serial killers, So I guess it's good in a way. I certainly wouldn't want my daughter to be like in love with some crazy madman killer. Again, I don't think that it's love at all. I don't think that it's a love situation. I think it's a sexual fetish myself. Because them girls that I saw, not one of them loved me, but they wanted to ride on daddy's pony. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's a sexual fetish.
So do you think that there is maybe kind of a risk or a danger to this? Like, as an example, Philip Jablonski was a serial killer who was in prison for some murders. He formed a relationship with somebody outside of prison, and then when he was released, he went and murdered her and her either her mother or her daughter. I can't remember which one he was involved with, but obviously it's a rare circumstance. But do you think that risk does exist still for people who may get into these relationships with somebody?
Yeah, I would think so. You got to really kind of give an overview of what kind of person that you're getting in bed with, like literally, figuratively, but literally as well. Like, I don't know that story that you just told, but look at what happened, He, in an innocent way, thought, I like this guy and so on and so forth, and he went and fucking killed her. So, like, in my situation, it would never happen because, I'm not sick. But you don't know. Like, I know, I won't say who because you'll all know who it is, but a person who's very famous recently, who was in the news a lot recently, began to contact and write with a dear friend of mine, my cousin, Carrie. And Carrie likes true crime and shit like that, so she started writing with this guy. And this guy has a tablet inside his cell, like it's totally legal in the United States. And he starts contacting and writing back and forth. And so they talk for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and then he starts telling her how much he loves her and how much he wants. This is a guy that's never going to get out of jail. she freaked the fuck out. That's not what she was just kind of curious, And so, but like, it seems to me that I told her, stop fucking talking to that idiot. I mean, he's a fucking dangerous imbecile. Like, look at the things that he's done and the problem that he's caused for other women who've been near him and stuff. Stop fucking talking to that idiot. And I used to fuss at her all the time. So I think that it is dangerous in that respect. I think that you can pick and choose. I think you can pick and choose. Like a lot of girls like that Ed Kemper guy. Now, I don't know shit about serial killers because I don't give a fuck about that. That's not what I'm about. But just from being in this world of true crime, being a personality in the true crime community, I know that I would think that Ed Kemper guy's pretty benign. Like the girls that want to ride him and go visit him, so I think that's probably okay. But then, you got to pick and choose your fucking bad boy because, like, then you got other ones that are like sadistic and insane, like that guy Andrew that you interviewed. What was the guy that cut his penis open because he wanted to sacrifice something before his trial? What's that guy's name?
Oh, Nico Jenkins.
Yeah, right. Like I would steer somebody away from that. So from that, no, that guy's pretty fucked up. So I mean, like, you got to pick and choose your madman, so to speak, and not everyone's the same. But any of it is I know, the girls I date, I know that their mothers most of the time have a serious problem with them dating me, or their family members and stuff. They're like, "Oh, you're dating Wild Bill, don't do that," And so, and it takes time to win those family members over. Like, oh, but I'm a pretty normal guy. Really, I just happen to have this terrible career, and so anyway, that's the situation. I would advise women to be very careful about who you set your sights on. Set your sights on somebody that's a bad boy, okay, but research it real well and make sure they're not fucking crazy.
Are you yourself attracted to women that commit violent acts or these hybristophiliacs, for instance?
Not really. I like not really, dude. There's a couple of girls like that one girl you presented me to. I won't say her name. Probably wouldn't want to be said online. I think she's fucking sexy as hell. The one that got out of prison, kind of, and then there was like this one girl that I don't remember who she killed her boyfriend from. I thought she was really attractive. But I mean, like, is that something I'm going to pursue? Fuck no. I like girls that are like little bitty and princesses, like very dainty and feminine. Not. I wouldn't be interested in a woman that stabbed her boyfriend. I don't want to be next. And so, and not in criminals either, because I'm fucking sick of criminals, man. I live with criminals, fucking eat, breathe, shit, everything with criminals, and I'm just sick of them all together. When God allows me to get out of jail, I'll never, ever put even my little toe anywhere near a bunch of fucking criminals ever again. And I would think that in my personal life, it would go with that as well. Like I dated girls who, were from the ghetto who are involved in who are come from gang culture, and it's just hell to try to be around a girl. And the best girls for me are the girls that don't know anything about criminality at all. Like nerdy, I like nerdy little princesses who are, not naive, but let's say innocent of this horrible fucking world that I live in. And like everybody worships horror movies. I fucking hate horror movies, man. I fucking hate them. I live a horror movie. I don't want to see that shit. I'm like watching romantic comedy and shit. I don't want to see. I live every fucking day of my life a fucking horror movie. People die here every day, and I just don't want to see that shit. And so I think that I've had a good dose of true crime in person, and I'm ready to be really far away from that, and also really far away from anybody that's involved in criminality.
So, since you do have a lot of experience with these sexual encounters and these women, do you have kind of any advice for how to go about that safely, or what you think would be the if somebody is interested in pursuing that, how they can do that in a safe way or in a way that's not going to be a danger to them?
I would pick a dude. If I was a chick that liked killers, I would pick a dude that's not sick, and like, how do you tell, right? I know, it's difficult. But I would look at his past behavior. What did he do? Was he picking up hookers and killing them for fun? That's not your boy. That's not your boy. Or did he get pissed off and kill 4 or 5 people? That might be okay. Maybe not, but it might be okay, Just depends on, like, if he has specific, like a Ted Bundy situation, hey, stay the fuck away from that guy. What the hell's wrong with you? what is it in jail? What is he in jail for? What has he admitted? That's even better. What has he admitted to doing? Is he, like from organized crime or something? That guy's going to be 100% okay, normal, because all those guys are normal except for their work, like me. Is he? Did he get, pissed off? Like the whole postal thing, did he go postal or one of them school shooting kids? That's probably going to be okay too. But did he kill a whole bunch of women for sexual gratification? Did he kill a whole bunch of women because he was mad at his mommy or something? Fuck, stay away from that dude. So I think you have to look at the mental stability of the person and kind of judge it. So it's a case by case thing. It's no real. I don't think there's any real set rules. And also be aware that people in my position, some of those guys are really smart and know how to mask their sickness very, very well. And so you got to be careful with that shit.
How would you address the criticism from others when it comes to hybristophilia and the abnormal stigma that it carries with people like yourself when, let's say, in regards to trying to establish like a real relationship with somebody?
Well, it depends on who the critic is. If it's a family member that's close, it's an important person in the girl's life, I think you have to address their concerns and confront them, and try to set their minds at ease, so to speak. But if it's just general society, people, a bunch of Karens saying, I think that they should go fuck themselves, because everybody's allowed to do what they think is best, So it depends on who the critic is. If the critic is someone who's in the girl's life, or as you say, a man, could be a man too. If it's a critic that's like somebody's mother or somebody's best friend or something, that critic should be addressed. They should, if you're the hybristophilia's focus, like me, for instance, the girl I'm dating, I know her mother, I know her friends, and like not all of them, as much as I can to put their minds at ease. No, this is a good thing that we're doing. I mean, like I adopted her son. He's my son. He's my child legally. And so we have a relationship, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to convince those family members that I'm normal, but I took the time to do it. If your bad boy isn't willing to take the time to convince your family members, you probably need to move the fuck on. Now, if it's your coworkers at work, if it's people at your church, don't tell them what you're doing. People are not going to understand. And if somebody finds out and starts giving you shit about them, tell them, by all means, please go and fuck yourself. Because you have the right to do whatever you'd like to do. Now, obviously, I don't think you should talk to your mother that way or your friends. But people who want to, people who are Budinskis, people who want to get in your life, hey, fuck you, man. But people who are important in your life, listen to their concerns and then do your very best to put them at ease if you can.
Yeah, it seems as though this is one of those things where, it could be dangerous, but the danger is what attracts certain people, and you kind of have to use your own. You're not fat. You have to use your own sensibilities to navigate that in a safe way, because it could easily be a dangerous situation if you're not being smart about it.
Exactly. Well, anyway, I'd like to take a moment, if you don't mind, and prostitute the piss out of myself on the show. If you're a hybristophiliac, baby daddy loves you. Come and visit me on Facebook at Friends of Brother Bill, or on Instagram at Holiness Bill. Also, I have a brand new YouTube channel that's actually taking off. I can't believe it. Called Life in Hell. And each one of the series that I put on it are called Audio Diary from Inside Hell. And people are going to freak out when I say this, but I'm the prison's chaplain. I'm the chaplain of the church here in prison. We try to instill self-esteem in young gang members to leave gang life and become productive members of society. That's what our church does. So come and say hey to me. Anybody, I talk directly to anybody on Facebook, Friends of Brother Bill, on Instagram at Holiness Bill, or on YouTube, Life in Hell. Also, drag your asses over to Amazon and buy my book, Long Live the King Wild Bill. That's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Long Live the King Wild Bill. So, guys, you got anything else?
I think that's all about I got right now. What about yourself?
Yeah, that's. I mean, this is almost could be looked at as a guide to, a little bit of safety with this. But I think it's good to get the perspective from somebody on the other side, because there's been plenty of books out there written about, plenty of books and interviews and articles with these women, but it's rare you hear from the perspective of one of the inmates that has this, is experiencing people with this fetish firsthand, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be on the show. Thank you. And also, the girls that have that fetish, I think it's okay. Most of them are normal. I mean, people say, "Oh, that's a crazy bitch." It's not actually. Most of those girls are normal. They have normal lives and families, and they're very, very functional. There's nothing dysfunctional about any of them, really. I mean, I think that by and large, the girls that I've met who are hybristophilics have a more functional life than the girls that I've met who don't have that fetish. And so maybe that might even be part of the reason why they're looking, why they have developed hybristophilia, because they're looking for some kind of escape from excitement. And so, because most of the girls are like, that I know of, that the hybristophiliacs are girls who work in offices behind computers and who have a lot of responsibility, and they just need some fucking evil bastard like me to come and put my dick in them. And so that's what, I mean, that's the take I get on it anyway. And I have about as much, maybe I have more, seriously, not tooting my own horn, but I may be the world's leading authority on the subject as far as from my perspective, because I'm in a unique perspective to be able to take advantage of being able to see women who have hybristophilia and having done so for years. So I think that I understand these women, and I think that they're good women. I think they're very good people.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your perspective, and we'll have to have you again on in the near future. And
thanks, guys, so much for letting me be on.